Hi, I have some PowerPoint slides I want to go over with you for F.Sott Fitzgerald today. I'm going to get this started right now for you. And I've also posted these PowerPoint slides by themselves for you so you can download them if you want. So here's some PowerPoint slides on F.Sott Fitzgerald. So, F. Scott Fitzgerald was born in Minnesota. He was known for being a writer. He was also known for his marriage with Zelda. Zelda came from a wealthy family, and there was a stigma for wealthy people to marry below their class during the time Fitzgerald was dating Zelda. This is very similar to Daisy and Gatsby's relationships. There are many parallels between F. Scott Fitzgerald and Gatsby. Fitzgerald's hometown still has class differences to this day. I visited the town in 2014. Here are some pictures I took while I was in Minnesota. I also noticed that you could really feel the class differences in Minnesota. So some of these pictures that I have to share with you, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So the town has made a statue in his honor, and this is the statue of F. Scott Fitzgerald. As you can see, it's a really nice statue. This is another view of it. I actually took these two pictures myself. This statue is in front of one of the wealthiest hotels in St. Paul. And it's very ironic that his statue would be there because I don't think in his lifetime he would have appreciated that. The statue stands at 5'6" because that was his height. This town is also known for the creator of the Peanuts characters. Charles Schulz was born there too. And in the same park where they have the statue of F. Scott Fitzgerald, they have Peanuts characters statues, and here are some pictures of Lucy, and I think that's Peppermint Patty. There were more, but I didn't get a chance to take those pictures. These are just my pictures. I took a bus trip in Minnesota, and we went down the street, and F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote Gatsby in one of these homes. I'm not exactly sure which one it was, but this is the neighborhood of where he wrote The Great Gatsby. So I believe that a lot of his inspiration and a lot of his ideas did come from this actual neighborhood where he was writing The Great Gatsby. I don't know if he lived in the house permanently or if he was renting a room. I don't know all the details, but I do know from what the bus driver said is that F. Scott Fitzgerald lived in one of these homes while he was writing The Great Gatsby. Minnesota and Minneapolis, and St. Paul are two cities in Minnesota, and they are known as the Twin Cities. They are right next to each other, and they're about the same size. So here's some pictures of St. Paul and Minnesota. And here's some more pictures of St. Paul and Minnesota. There's a wonderful river that runs there, and a lot of the restaurants have some delicious fish that they get from this river. It's very nice. Buildings are very tall, very big. It's a huge city. Old money versus new money. Minnesota is known for producing a great deal of wealth in the United States. There is a lot of quote unquote old money generated in businesses in Minnesota. The vast class difference between the wealthy and the poor are clearly seen in the cities and the neighborhoods of the state. F. Scott was probably overwhelmed by the alarming polarity of the ideas of the American dream and how people go about accomplishing it. So this is the St. Paul Hotel. It looks a lot like the Plaza in New York. It's huge, it's extremely expensive, and F. Scott Fitzgerald's statue stands in front of this hotel. The state of Minnesota is also known for producing the largest Christmas trees. Here's a picture. These Christmas trees were all over the parks And this is still in the same park where I took the statue of F. Scott Fitzgerald. And one of these pictures, this little picture at the bottom here, is one of the Peanuts characters. I don't remember which one. But these Christmas trees are all over the state. And the idea of Christmas is giving and receiving. However, this dream doesn't exist for a lot of people. Even though the parks are clean and well taken care of, there was a great deal of poverty that didn't seem to fit in with the rest of society, and people just kind of ignore the poverty that's prevalent there. But I was really astonished by these great big Christmas trees that during Christmas time we pay so much money to get, and it's just kind of interesting. Alcoholism. So F. Scott Fitzgerald was an alcoholic. I wonder if the paradox of the town he came from led him to drink. He was always contemplating the realities of the American dream, but at the same time he was questioning if it did exist and if it was possible to achieve. His town didn't give him any recognition until after his death. So these are some pictures that I took walking in the streets in Minnesota. So this was actually considered one of the wealthier districts. There's a Core Power Yoga here and J. Crew. There's also Lululemon, and there was also a lot of upscale restaurants and shopping stores here. And even though it doesn't really look upscale, if you go into the stores, you can tell that they are really upscale. It kind of looks average on the streets, but inside you can definitely tell that it's an upscale place. And also, people are not as friendly here as they are in Los Angeles. Okay, so to wrap up, as you read The Great Gatsby, think about the message and the theme of the story of the American dream. What is Fitzgerald's message about it? Who do you think is his audience? Why do you think he wrote this book? Do you still see evidence of his message in today's society? And I just want you to all know that F. Scott Fitzgerald was fairly young when he passed away. He was in his early 40s. And for the little bit of time that he was was alive, he really saw a lot of things that we still talk about in today's society. So I just want you to think about that as you're reading the book and think about some of the ideas of the American dream. Okay, well, that's it for today.